back here with us on Overdrive. Mercedes-Benz India has given its 7-seater SUV, the GLS, a mid-life makeover. And we tell you what's new in terms of its styling, in terms of the new luxury feature additions, and also whether this SUV remains a functional 3-seater SUV.
The Mercedes-Benz GLS has been the best-selling three-row luxury car in India. So why is it that over 12,000 of these have been sold, and what does this new facelifted GLS do to still keep it at the top? With this update, Mercedes-Benz seems to have decided to not fix what isn't broken. The result is you have some minor but effective changes to the outside of the new GLS. The most apparent of these is the bigger 4-bar grille. Mercedes says it's inspired by the G-Class, and it does seem to add toughness to the GLS while keeping its rich look intact. This also goes quite well with the more detailed look of the new pixel LED lamps. Similarly, the new bumpers with their textured inserts and measured chrome adornments make the GLS stand out, but not in an especially flashy way. The new blue shade does its bit to further lift the look of the GLS. Now you realize why the Mercedes name is so deeply associated with luxury as soon as you step inside the new GLS. For example, just look at this layout and the way this ridged panel houses the new screens. You now have this brown upholstery that is new, and also this black sort of piano finish trim with these sort of lines that mimic what you get in the Maybach. The Mercedes GLS is suitably well equipped for an SUV of its price. You get acoustic glass, soft closed doors, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, ambient lighting, 13-speaker Burmeister audio, heated and ventilated front seats, seat kinetics, air purifier, panoramic sunroof, powered steering adjustment, and connected tech. Now for many of you, what the GLS does with its back seat, the second row of seats, will be of utmost importance, and at first you might be a bit worried. I mean, there's no captain seats here, right? But don't worry, because what you get with this update is the extended comfort package, which first of all gives you this longer center console. So you have a storage space here, another phone charger here, a pocket here, and this. A 7-inch tab through which you can control pretty much the seat controls, the climate controls, the navigation, pretty much most of the functions of the front MBUX screen you can do right from here. But that's just the start, because what you do get also, you do get the powered adjustments that like I just said. So you can recline to a good angle, but you also get this chauffeur mode, which will, as you can see, give you as much space as pretty much any full-size Range Rover Maybach style limousine SUV. So this is about the kind of space that you have, and as you can see, it's more than adequate for me. Yeah, you don't get a footrest, so if you're really picky, then that might be an issue. But you can also fold in the blinds like this and roll up the sun blinds too. Now you also have another 11.6-inch screen here for each of the passengers, which again repeat the functions of the MBUX screen. So again, the media, all the seat kinetics, seat functions, all of those you can control right from here. You even get those really cool dials from the front here. And needless to say, the quality, the trim, the materials, all of them have been repeated right from the front. So it's a very, very comfortable, very luxurious place inside. The soft head pillows are a small but effective addition that amps up comfort to a good extent. You also have HDMI inputs and numerous charging ports here to keep you entertained. Now, one of the main reasons you might want the GLS, aside from all the luxury that we showed you in the second row, is the added practicality of the third row. Now, this is how you get in. It's actually not that difficult to get in. There's a reasonably large space here. Yeah, it takes a bit of time, but aside from that, it's fairly easy to get in. But once you're inside, you realize that this is about as much space as you can get here, because what Mercedes has done is that it's left you a fairly decent boot despite the 3 rows. So there is good luggage space, and with this comfort package, this is how much space you have once you've stepped inside, and you realize that it is comfortable. Of course, you have a control to fold the seats right from here, 2 USB-C ports for each of the passengers here, and fairly comfortable chairs. I mean, you have a good amount of back support, the backrest, especially these very extended headrests. So in terms of Head and back support, you're good, and like most of these third rows, under thigh support isn't especially great, but it's completely passable for something of this size. There is a suite of level 2 ADAS functions, but notably Mercedes-Benz India has heeded feedback and you can now completely turn off the quite sharp emergency braking function. There are front, side and knee airbags, 360-degree cameras and a transparent bonnet function for off-road use. The cameras are useful but could have been offered with a few more views to navigate tight traffic. Now we're driving the GLS 450, which is the petrol version of this. There's also a GLS 450 diesel. Now with this petrol version, you get a 3-liter engine. It's a turbo petrol aided with an electric compressor that makes about 381 PS and 500 Newton meters. And you also have mild hybrid assistance now, so that adds about 20 PS and 200 Newton meters in short bursts. And so of course, this is, generally speaking, even for its size, a fairly sprightly machine. You don't get a sport mode, but ring out the motor and you come away surprised with the performance that's on offer. We managed a 0 to 100 kmph time of 5.7 seconds, and most of this seems to be due to the big gush of performance that's on offer in the higher reaches of the rev band. In these situations, the gearbox 2 is on the money, putting in confident shifts to get more of the power to you. It runs on 21-inch wheels. You get air suspension, adaptive damping and an auto leveling suspension setup. So you're on the highway where you might spend a lot of time doing long distances in your big SUV. It feels flat, it's composed, it's rock steady in the way you want your luxury SUV to be. But show itself some rough patches and you do realize that maybe the damping in any of the modes, you have the eco and the comfort mode, could have been a bit better tuned for maybe India. This you especially notice at lower speeds rather than at higher speeds. It smoothens the road surface out pretty impressively, but in lower speeds, say in the city, you do notice sharp speed breakers or potholes. They sort of thud through in the cabin, you feel them. Even in terms of the way it tackles, say, a winding stretch of road, the GLS is at its best when you take things easy. Priced at Rs 1.57 crore on road for the GLS 450, this Mercedes is pricey for its segment. In this context, we would have liked a driving experience that was more cohesive, but this may not be a bother for many of you. The GLS's strength is that it looks the money on the outside and punches higher on the inside. The ambience and amenities in the first and second rows should be enough to continue to see this to be a popular choice.
With that, it's a wrap on this week's edition of Overdrive. But remember, you can stay in touch with the team through our various social media platforms. You can write to us on YouTube as well. We'll see you next week. Until then, drive and ride safe.